Something's not quite right. Perfect. Hey guys, I'm JT, and you're watching the internet. So, like a couple weeks ago, Marvel dropped their newest show, What If, and on the internet, I've mostly seen that the general consensus is like it's a 6 or 7 out of 10, and I've seen plenty of completely reasonable reasons why people aren't a huge fan of the show. I mean, yeah, the show has ridiculous amounts of plot holes. It's probably the most flawed MCU show besides Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I'm here to say that personally, I freaking love this show so much, it's ridiculous. It's just so fun. And on an objective level, there's a lot right about this show. Going into Phase 4, I was almost entirely sure that this was going to be my favorite show, and so far I seem to have been right. I can't remember the last time I was this excited every time to watch the next episode of a TV show. That's not true. It was Stranger Things. I watched that like a few months ago for the first time, so that's just a blatant lie. Anyway, before I get into spoilers, let me just say, if you're a fan of the MCU, watch this show. It's so good. You might feel differently about it. It's definitely a show where everyone's going to react very differently. It's, a bit alienating, but I thought it was great. And if you do end up hating this show, the nice thing is, it doesn't actually really affect the main MCU timeline. It's all theoretical, so, no harm, no foul. And if you're not a fan of the MCU, don't bother. You're not going to know what's going on. There's nothing in this show for non-MCU fans. Anyway, spoiler warning. Obvious. Like, why wouldn't there be spoilers? This is how reviews work. Anyway, on to the actual review. Oh, what did I like about this show? Well, the first thing I thought I'd bring up is the animation. It's real cool. It's not quite as good as Spider-Verse's animation, but come on, that's not a fair comparison. It's Spider-Verse. That movie's a masterpiece. I like how it's kind of got like a semi-comic booky style, but still looks pretty similar to what we have in the movies. It's a nice blend. And I think the action flows really well with the animation style that they chose. It's really smooth and colorful, and that's kind of refreshing because Marvel movies can tend to look very, like, gray. I love the finale of Endgame, but it's literally just set in a great wasteland. I also think the animation, like, really helped make this show better. It, like, retroactively makes me care less about the absurdity of it. Having it in a completely different style than all the regular MCU stuff also helps like separate it from the main timeline and just kind of turns up the bonkersness to 11. It's not a sentence I thought I'd ever say. And this show gets real bonkers. I think the fact that the show is able to take a step away from the regular franchise is not only really refreshing, but also makes me care less about the inconsistencies and plot holes and stuff. I've seen a lot of people complaining about different plot holes and inconsistencies in this show and how it doesn't match up with the events in the regular MCU, and that's totally valid, but for me, I didn't care all that much. The entire premise of this show is that literally anything can happen, and they're gonna try and do the most insane stuff possible. So if that means breaking a few rules within the MCU, yeah, sure, why not? It doesn't affect the main timeline, so I don't mind. But while I'm on the topic of plot holes, let me clear up two quote-unquote plot holes people keep bringing up that actually make total sense, and I'm also going to explain why they make sense, because I'm tired of hearing about them, and it's getting on my nerves, because I get really defensive when people don't like things I like, because I care about movies and TV shows too much. First off, a lot of people have been bringing up, like, how Vision just kind of kills off Thanos like it's nothing in Episode 8. And they've been saying it doesn't make a lot of sense because Thanos should be able to survive that. But to me, this actually makes perfect sense because Visions slash Ultron, Viztron, that's what they call him. Viztron is a lot stronger than Vision or Ultron ever were in the regular movies. He's been, like, getting more and more powerful all this time, so it makes sense that the beam can just cut right through Thanos. It's not like his beam was this powerful in the movies. Remember the time he yeeted War Machine across the chest with that thing and all it did was make his suit shut down? If his beam were that powerful back then, he would have killed Don Cheadle. And then we never would have gotten Space Jam 2. The other thing I've seen people say is a plot hole is that Christine's death wasn't like an absolute point in the regular universe, but in this one it is. And that doesn't make sense if you ask me, because that's just part of the what if scenario. The what if scenario isn't what if Christine died, it's what if Christine and Doctor Strange were in a car together, they had the same car crash, Christine died, and in this universe it's an absolute point. There's more context to the actual what if scenario. So I hope that clears that up. There are some less excusable plot holes, like how Proxima Midnight and Cull Obsidian are just able to kill Thanos, and unlike Vision killing Thanos, no, that's stupid. But like I said, I don't really care about plot holes all that much in this show, so let's just move on. Now, I will be the first to admit, this show can be an absolute total disaster. It's embarrassing at times. There's a lot of really dark and emotional shows that are just jam-packed with jokes that it's exhausting. And not like appropriate jokes, like it's not like they're there to like lighten the mood. They just throw them in when it makes no sense. Like in episode 5, when Wasp has to kill one of her friends, and then she makes a joke, and then Okoye makes another joke. What if your friends just died? Also, I wasn't really a huge fan of the team-up. I wouldn't mind if this was, like, original, but Marvel's already done this. That was what the entire first phase of the MCU was. You got a couple different individual stories, and then all the main characters make a big team of 6 and they all fight. Someone else. That wasn't very well worded. I like the last episode, like, quite a bit, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping the show could just have, like, each episode be its own thing. And I also kind of hope they do that in season 2, rather than having an overarching story. I'm fine with all these episodes just being wacky adventures. Also, please make a Marvel Zombies Part 2 episode in the second season. Like, please. Like, they're gonna do it. I don't know why I'm asking. Obviously, they're gonna do it. Why would they set it up for a cliffhanger and then not resolve it in the last episode and then not do a part 2? I'm stupid. Unfortunately, there are some cliffhangers that are resolved in the last episode, and they do it in a really crappy and forced and super brief and not at all satisfactory way at all. The biggest and most egregious example of this is how they just close out the Killmonger arc. Like, that episode was so interesting for the first half, and then it kind of fizzled out at the end, but I was hoping, like, okay, we're gonna get a really good part 2. Nope. They just make Killmonger trapped in the mind bubble thing, and now we never get to see the finale. I mean, I guess, like, we did see Pepper and Shuri, like, I don't know, raiding the palace or something? I don't know. Come on. I want more Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan's a really good actor. Please give us more Killmonger. I will say, quick side note though, I like how this show's able to like show us more of really great characters who are dead, like Killmonger and Iron Man and Black Widow and Yondu and Taserface and Korath and uh Thanos. We got some more Thanos. We got some more Coulson and the Ancient One. Are these the only characters that have died in like 25 movies? Vision, we get to see a bit more Vision. Anyway, now that I'm done complaining, what did I like? Well, the action scenes, I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. The action scenes are really cool. They all flow very well. They make really creative use of their powers. And since it's animated, they get to do way more wacky stuff than they do in the movies. Just kidding. They don't obey the laws of physics in the movies or anything. I act like the action can be down to earth, but also can be completely insane when they wanted to. That's the nice thing about the MCU. There's so many genres. You can just kind of do whatever you want at this point. Yeah, but I like the action. Better than in the movies at some points. I also like that since the show doesn't have to, like, relate to the overarching timeline all that much, they just kind of kill people off left and right. Iron Man dies, which apparently a lot of people are upset about that. Who cares? He's already dead in the main universe. What did you expect from this show? The entire point is literally anything can happen. Did you not expect the show to kill off characters? They were trying to do shocking and mind-blowing stuff. Why wouldn't they kill off Tony? This is the only Marvel property where we could get to see Ultron Zola fight Infinity Killmonger. Seriously, that's like a real thing that happens. Zola takes over Ultron, Killmonger gets the Infinity Stones, and then evil Doctor Strange has to put him in a cage. This show's so weird. This show just feels like it has that comic booky feel that a lot of the more grounded movies in the MCU, as great as they are, like Black Panther, Iron Man, Winter Soldier, Civil War, haven't really managed to capture, I feel like. And I'm sure it being animated definitely plays into that, but I also just think it has a different energy than the rest of the MCU. Even though I didn't love the overarching villain concept, I thought Ultron was great. We got to see more James Spader, which is always a plus. I thought he was really intimidating and entertaining, and even if his power level is absurdly inconsistent. I kind of feel weird about it because I do like the jokey and like sort of, like socially awkward, not very good at being a villain Ultron we got in Age of Ultron. And I think this actually kind of works because in Age of Ultron, Ultron's still trying to figure stuff out. He's very awkward, and his plan is kind of just whatever. He's kind of making it up as he goes along, and he has like weird bursts of anger and like minor mental breakdowns, and it makes for a really compelling villain who's like still trying to figure out the villain part. And in this show, we see him like operating in his full capacity, where he's ridiculously powerful and he's got everything figured out, and he doesn't make many jokes, and he's like very serious about it. And I thought that that made sense. That's a natural progression. Most of the voice actors do a really good job. Michael B. Jordan is fantastic, as he usually is. Jane Spader, like I just said, I thought was really great. Cucumber Cumberbatch was just fantastic. Chris Hemsworth did a great job. I thought that Chadwick Boseman was great, and I think this show is a really good send-off for him and his character. Most of the replacement voice actors are also really good in their roles, with the real standouts being Spider-Man and Black Widow. The only one I thought sounded a little bit weird was the guy they got to voice Tony Stark. But then again, I'm probably being a bit unfair because it's Robert Downey Jr. How do you live up to his iconic Tony Stark voice? You can't. You can't beat it. While we're on the topic of voice actors, I thought Jeffrey Wright was really good in his role as the Watcher. Overall, I really like this show. You probably think it's weird that my shortest MCU TV show review is for the one I like the best, and that's because there's gonna be like a second part to this episode where I'm gonna rank all the what if shows. I think the reason I need to do this is because all the episodes are so different. It's not a consistent narrative like it is with WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'll also talk about Loki soon, I promise. The average of all the scores I give to each individual episode is like an 8 out of 10. But honestly, for the show itself, I'm feeling a 9. Admittedly, it's probably the weakest of the shows. Well, no, the third weakest. It's better than Falcon and Winter Soldier on an objective level. But personally, I love it so much that I gotta give it a 9 out of 10, man. What else can I do? It's probably my favorite thing the studios made for since Endgame. I don't freaking care. I love it so much. So far, it's also my favorite thing that's come out of Phase 4, but it's gonna really quickly lose its title to No Way Home. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe, or dislike and unsubscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Well, actually, no, before I go, I want to suggest some what-if scenarios I made. Hold on. I'm gonna bring them up on my computer. This was not in the script, if you couldn't tell. Because I just pulled out my computer. Most of this episode I scripted, and then I just kind of came up with lines because I can't stick to a script to save my life. Alright, here's some scenarios. What if the Wasp fought with Captain America in Civil War? What if Zola betrayed Red Skull, meaning he gives the Tesseract to the Allies? What if Quicksilver didn't die? What if Tony Stark wasn't the only survivor? That means when they blew up the truck and they took him captive in the first movie, what if they took another soldier? What if Ronan killed Thanos? What if Darcy got help from Valkyrie and WandaVision? What if everyone got Iron Man suits? What if Alligator Loki killed Loki? What if Alligator Loki teamed up with Frog Thor? That's a dumb one. What if Happy Hogan killed Obadiah Stane? What if the Grandmaster went to War of Asgard? What if the Collector got the Infinity Gauntlet? What if Claw teamed up with Trevor Slattery? What if Phil Coulson became the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.? What if Peter Parker stopped Whiplash? When they got like the kid, what if he like grabbed one of Iron Man's like hand blaster things and like pew. Great sound effects. What if Justin Hammer got the Pym particles? What if Yondu killed Thanos? What if Howard Stark became Iron Man? What if Killmonger grew up with Shang-Chi and Katie? Because he lived in Oakland, so I'm like thinking, it's right next to Sacramento. It's like, well, not right next, but it's close to Sacramento. So what if he no, they don't live in Sacramento. They live in San Francisco. So, like, what if he moved to San Francisco and, like, grew up with Shang-Chi and Katie? And, like, maybe, like, Scott Lang. Ant-Man. I don't know why I said Scott Lang. What if they were all friends? I don't know. What if Trevor Slattery killed Killian by accident? What if Drax fought in the Tournament of Champions from Thor Ragnarok? What if Shang-Chi joined the army? What if Mantis escaped Ego? What if Asgard went to war with Wakanda? What if Thanos went to war with the Kree? What if Hawkeye killed Thor? And what if the Time Heist teams were different? I'm aware I seem like the biggest nerd on the planet right now. Anyway, Marvel, please make these. But if you do, I will sue you for stealing my idea. So, maybe don't make these. That would be a bad business decision. Okay, bye for real now. I used Adobe Rush to edit this video. And I used a FugeTek tripod and PopVoice microphone to make this video, and that's really about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the video where I rank all the What If episodes, and I'll also review Loki soon because I should probably do that. Alright, bye.